Good morning, my name is Don.
And I'm Sally with Maranatha Adventures.
What this video is going to be about is some mods that we were doing, as it says in the thumbnail. And but I want to get on first about is, I made a post on our YouTube channel about is Old Heavy being replaced. No, he is not. What we were doing was that we were looking for a third vehicle to have here on the farm, but that we could use in conjunction of overlanding or our off-road adventures during day trips only. And what came across our minds was a Subaru Crosstrack. And we found one that was mint condition, had very low miles for what it was, the year it was. And it was like brand new inside and out. So I made some phone calls to some people that one drives a Subaru and the other one had a Subaru. And Eric from Eric's Camping Adventures drives a Subaru and has a Subaru and has owned them. I spent some time on the phone with him. And I also talked with Jared over there with West OK Overland. And I appreciate you guys giving me the time on the phone and the insight of the Subaru. That deal fell through for the reason of the size of me. I'm 6'1.5", 256 pounds. And that's kind of like trying to stuff a 14-pound catfish inside of a sardine can. So that wouldn't fly. But then I found another vehicle that would work for us, and I would have no problem getting in and out of it. And that was a Isuzu Trooper. This thing was in mint condition. Fresh paint. The upholstery was like brand spanking new. It just had some suspension upgrades, as in heavier duty springs and torsion bars and shocks, and had a nice ARB bumper on the front with winch. And it was 5-speed manual. We both know how to drive a manual.
Yeah.
And I contacted the guy and everything was cool. I told him I was going to transfer our funds from one account to the other and I'll get back with him, and I never heard from him ever since. So that deal fell through. So that's where we're at. We decided what we're going to do is just keep upgrading Old Heavy. And some of you guys that don't know about Old Heavy's upgrades, it's not a stock 2000 GMC Z71 1500. A lot of upgrades have been done. The motor's mildly built, the transmission's built, it's been re-geared, different differential in the rear, which is a true track. Eaton Detroit. Kryptonite front suspension and steering. Daystar cradles on the airbags, on the rear suspension, and the list is endless. But what I'm going to upgrade with if you can hold that for me.
Sure.
On Old Heavy is we're going to replace its CV axles and wheel bearings, front wheel bearings. So I did a lot of research and I ended up deciding I'm going to go with Axiom Supply. This is their Reaper Series CV axle assemblies for GM trucks, the 1500, C and K Series, Silverado and Sierra. They are a true lifetime warranty on coverage. They're engineered to exceed OME durability standards and backed by Axiom Supplies Industries leading lifetime warranty. The finish on them are an advanced electro-coated coating that provides exceptional corrosion resistance against salt, moisture, road debris, and harsh environments, keeping the components protected. They're built with a heavy-duty precision machine internal components, including larger CV balls, cages than the competition, allowing more significant higher torque capacities, smoother power transfer, and increased articulation under extreme angles. Designed to thrive under lifted suspensions or stock, aggressive driving, high-low conditions. These are an OME style direct fit. The other is I'm going with their lifetime Axiom wheel bearing assembly. This assembly reduces hub facing deflections under load, ensures tighter steering response, improved braking stability, and enhances durability under the stress of towing, oversized tires, lifted suspensions, and etc. Each assembly comes to be a complete bolt-in unit. So these are the last of the upgrades that I could find doing to Old Heavy, that 2000 GMC Z71 1500 series truck. I've taken all the weak links out of it, the front suspension. Now it's the axles and the wheel bearing assemblies, the transmission. There's a lot of criticism on the 4L60E transmission, but if you build them up, they're just as good as of its big brother, the 4L80E. The other weak link is their GM's clutch pack limited slip differential. A lot of people don't know you have to change them out every 20,000. This one here has been replaced with all helical system by Eaton Detroit, and it's a True Track. So basically, O Heavy is completely, I've taken all the weak links I can find and Googled out of it. So it's a nice stock appearance looking. I like that sleeper look that I have on it. But when you get in it, you experience a totally different feeling altogether. The other thing is that the fact that is the camper.
Yeah, Don's going to be showing you some upgrades that he did on the inside. And when the weather, we have many trips planned, but right now, with the weather being extremely hot like it is, it's just too uncomfortable and actually dangerous to get out there and try to do some camping. So when weather's like this and so unpredictable, that's when we do mods.
So what you hear in the background, I apologize. We got the air conditioner going on here in the shop. It's nice and cool in here.
Yes.
So anyways, we're going to switch over to a selfie stick now. We'll get back at you.
Yeah.
Okay, the first mod that I've done was that I'll be sending links to all about these MOLLE panels. On the outside, I installed some MOLLE panels on the side of the tongue box. And these are all cut out aluminum, powder coated. And so the company I went through, I'll list the link to them if someone wants MOLLE panels, custom MOLLE panels. I did them on both sides. This side here is the left side of the tongue box. And I also done on the right side also. But I also installed was a larger MOLLE panel on the front. And the process of mounting this wasn't as difficult as it seemed. I used quarter by 20 brad point T-nuts with 1.25 button head machine screws that were powder coated black. I used 1.25 by 1/4 inch flat fender washers that were powder coated black. And then I also sealed it with big stretch clear sealant. And then on the inside, I'll explain to you what I did to cover up the Brad Point T-nuts so you don't notice them. So anyways, I think it looks good, and it matches the other side where we have our trapper's axe, 2-pound trapper axe, and how I mounted that exactly the same way. So anyways, Sally, I'm going to hand this back to you,
Okay.
and then we'll see what we've done on the inside. Okay, let me turn some lights on here. Anyways, before I had a molly panel mounted here, but I didn't always like the way it looked because I wanted it more to be how the interior of the camper is. As you notice around the air conditioner up on the shelf and everything, it's all done in a carpeting. So what I did is I matched the carpeting. What I done was I found some 1/4 inch thick aluminum plate. And then what I done was I media blasted it. And then I painted the 3M tape primer for their V series tape, 2-sided tape on it. The carpeting that matches the color of the existing runaway carpet was an adhesive back, so it helps adhesion on that. Then I put molly panel spacers in between, and then I used the 1/4 inch by 1/4 Brad Point T-nut on the back side, and I used a soldering iron to burn out the holes after I drilled the holes where the molly panels were going to be, so I didn't damage the carpet trying to drill through it. And then the 1/4 by 1.5 button head machine screws holding it. And I did both of them. I replaced both of them here. And how I attached them is that I used a 2-inch 3M 2-sided tape, and it's their industrial grade. And I painted the primer on the backside so it would adhere very well. And then what I done was pressed them on there, and they're not coming off at all. They're on there. I mean, they use this stuff in the aircraft industry also, but it's all on there very well. It won't come off. And I'm going to show you how I hidden the T-nuts when I was putting the larger molly panel on. I'll take that from you.
All right, thank you.
And as you see, what I done was I painted the backside of the T-nuts with the 3M 2-sided tape primer. And then what I did was I got contact shelf paper that was colored in a natural birch color. And I used a leather cutting tool sized up to exactly the same size as the T-nut, and then cut out the contact paper for the size. And then I slipped it over, and the primer helps the contact paper not to come off. And you can see it where I did the other molly panel by the vents and everything, and where the PowerMax DC to AC to DC converter is. So anyways, that's what we've been doing during this hot weather, this hot, dry weather. We're on, our whole state's on fire bans, and matter of fact, we got some loose wildfires going. So anyways, this is going to be a short video, just to let you know what we're going. We do have trips planned. We're hoping that next month we can be able to do the Butterfield Overland Mail and Stage route in the Arkansas section. Starts over in West Memphis and ends over in Fort Smith, Arkansas. I've done a video about doing the research on that, and there's some of the trail left that you can actually drive on dirt. So the other one is that what we want to do is head towards Oklahoma and around the grasslands in Kansas and area in there. So that's what we got planned doing. So anyways, we appreciate you. We appreciate the new subscribers, and our channel's growing. And comment, subscribe, and share. Ring that bell. The other thing is that the fact that stick around. I think you'll like the devotion after this video. Anyways, God bless. This devotion will be coming out of the Old Testament. I'll be reading from the book of Psalms, chapter 147, verse 3. I'll also be reading from the New Living Translation. He heals the brokenhearted and bandages their wounds. When I think of this verse, 2 Corinthians 12:9 comes to my mind also, and I'll be reading from the English Standard Version. But he said to me, my grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. Therefore I will boast all the more gladly of my weaknesses, so that the power of Christ may rest upon me. When I face difficulties in life, these two Bible verses are comforting to my heart. There is a rest and a solitude in the Lord in the midst of the troubles when I lean into God's Word. Sometimes our weaknesses can become our liability to our identity. When a difficult season comes, it's not our identity. A hard day isn't either. And it doesn't get the right to final scene to our story. What do I mean by our story? Our life. God is the author, and He does not start projects He doesn't intend to finish. We are a work in progress. God is the one who began each of our stories. He knows exactly how it ends. Our job isn't to see the entire manuscript. Our job is to trust the author. Just trust. Our best chapters are still ahead of us. So don't be ashamed to acknowledge that you need God, having that dependency on Him. You can feel weak and still have faith. Faith is knowing where to turn when life's pressures increase. Our strength might be small. God's grace is still sufficient and plentiful. God's Word is filled with healing and restoration throughout. It's the core truth of God's character. We serve a God who turns our greatest weaknesses into our greatest strengths. Psalms 147:3 serves as a powerful declaration of God's unwavering love and compassion for us, offering hope and reassurance in times of need. It's a reminder of the redemptive power and healing God has, that divine spiritual renewal to our brokenness. God promises to heal and bandage our wounds. Jesus invites you to come to Him for rest and healing. Just as Jesus healed the brokenhearted in biblical times, He is ready to heal what troubles your heart today. I hope somebody gets something out of this devotion. I really do. Give God the time He deserves. God bless.